Hello everyone, so I'm back with a new video, and in today's video we will talk about rice milling, its complete process, objectives and methods. So before starting, if you are new to my channel, please like, share and subscribe my channel, and I would like to mention that all my notes are from the books on which you must rely for any competitive exam. It can be your CFTIR or your ICR net examination, or even if you are a regular student of food technology or food science, you can follow my notes. They are completely from books like Shakuntala Mane, PJ Fellow. So let's start.
So today we will talk about rice milling, and before starting rice milling, first of all let me tell you what is milling. So milling can be defined as a series of operations under wet or dry conditions. They can be the wet or dry with ultimate aim of dehusking, debraning, splitting or grinding. So the ultimate aim is to dehusk in case of rice, debraning in case of wheat and rice both, splitting in case of pulses or grinding. This applies to all of these, like wheat, rice and pulses, right? And in layman language, we can say that milling is size reduction of grain, and it can be of two types. First is flour milling and the second one is grain milling. Now, what is the difference between these two? When we remove husk or when we remove bran from rice kernel, so the product that we get is again a grain itself, right? So that type of milling is known as grain milling. And when we grind or when we further mill that particular grain to flour, that is known as flour milling, right? And milling is generally done to get an edible product and to make your rice kernel or your wheat kernels appealing in appearance, right? Then comes the objective. So the main objectives are removal of husk, removal of bran, produce rice that appeals to the consumer. This is the most important objective of milling. As we know that why do we polish rice? To increase its appearance, so that the it appeals the customers. Then although we know that the polished rice is not much nutritious because the bran has been removed from it, but still consumers prefer polished rice. Why? Because it appeals to consumers, right? And we also mill to get minimum number of brokens and increase head rice recovery. This is also because the consumers they demand for more of the head rice in comparison to brokens, because they appeal in appearance, right? So if we talk about the methods, there are two methods: traditional methods, commercial methods. Traditional, as the name says, are the old methods like mortar pestle, hand stone, which is your chakki, and the commercial methods. Now we will talk about it further. So in this, what happens? First disadvantage is that number of brokens are produced because it is a traditional method. And second one, the important point which we need to remember is that the principle on which it works is friction. There is a friction between kernel to kernel and kernel to abrasive surfaces, right? So now we will talk about rice milling. So scientific name of rice is Oryza sativa, and with the same name we get a principal protein in the rice, which is oryzinin. So a basic structure of rice contains endosperm, germ and bran. So endosperm is made up of starch. It contains majority of the starch. Germ contains the lipids and bran contains the thiamine, phosphorus, your vitamins and your minerals, right? And when milling is done, what happens? The husk and the bran is removed. So when bran is removed, if bran is only removed when we need to polish the rice, when we need to produce white rice, right? Brown rice contains bran. When bran is removed during milling, what happens? All the nutrients uh, also get removed with it. So to avoid the reduction in the nutritional quality of the rice, what we do is parboiling. That I've already made a lecture. You can go and look through that video. So parboiling is what it is, done prior to milling to improve the nutritional quality, milling yield, and reduce breakage. How? If you want to learn about parboiling of rice, please check out my video on parboiling of rice or paddy. You'll be able to clear out your concept of parboiling. So I'll talk about the basic steps of parboiling. First one is your steeping, then steaming, and then drying. So what happens in steeping? We soak paddy in water. So suppose our rice kernel is this, and this is our husk. So what happens that this is the husk, the water enters through the husk and touches this layer of rice kernel, which is your bran, and from bran it takes all the nutrients inside the rice kernel to the endosperm and makes this rice kernel harder. So what happens then? The nutritional quality is improved. How? Because all the nutrients have gone inside, they have moved inside, and bran is free of nutrients. Not exactly free, but majority of the nutrients move inside. Milling yield. So what happens, as the rice kernel has become hard, so the more head rice is produced and less brokens are produced, right? And yes, this is all that to reduce the nutritional damage or loss of nutritional damage, we do parboiling of rice. And another point that I've jotted down is that also milled rice, okay, so if we mill a rice, it also becomes poor in iron and calcium. Okay, so now we will talk about milling of rice. So I'll talk about the complete flow sheet, how we mill a rice. So first of all, we'll take paddy, we will pre-clean it, we will remove all the impurities which may contain your large and small sized stones or straw particles, right? Then removal of husks. So when after pre-cleaning, what happens? We remove husk, and husk is removed using aspirators. The air is blown and the husk is separated from the rice kernels. Then what we get is a brown rice. We call this rice a brown rice because it contains bran, right? Now next step what we does is abrasive whitening. So when your rice kernels, they come in contact with abrasive surfaces and the bran is removed from outer surfaces, that is known as abrasive whitening. The next is friction whitening. So what happens in friction whitening? The rice kernels, they collide with each other, or they rub against each other, creating friction between them, and that is known as friction whitening. And what we get is, sorry, I've missed it, white rice. We get white rice. Now white rice are polished, then they are length graded, they are graded according to their length. So what we get in this we get brokens and head rice, right? We can separate the brokens and head rice. The brokens can be used for making puddies, or it can be used as a raw material for making of your beer, and head rice will be on higher demand. Then we can also blend these both. The rice, what we does is, uh, when we need to prepare a bag of good quality of rice, so majority of head rice are put in that bag and a few of brokens are blended with it, right? And if we have to make a bag of a medium quality of rice, then we will take not 50 exactly, but 70% head rice and 30% brokens. And poor quality of rice bag will contain majority of brokens, right? So this is the blending step. Then at the end we will pack those bags. We will talk about the major steps in further sheets. First we'll look into the composition of rice now. So if a rice kernel, sorry, if we have 100% of paddy, so 100% of paddy will contain 20% of husk, right? So when from 100% 20% of husk is removed, what we are left with automatically, if you have understood what I have taught you before, 80% of it will be brown rice. Now in this brown rice, 9 to 11% is your bran, that is the outer layer of rice. Guys, if you have not seen my previous videos on structure of rice, please go through it and you'll be able to clear all your concepts. Okay, so if bran is 9 to 11%, what we are left with is white rice, which is 69 to 71%. So what I need to tell you is that if we have 100% of paddy, so it will give us 69 to 71% of white rice. So next we will talk about the basic principles behind pre-cleaning, husk removal and whitening of rice. So first of all, I will talk about pre-cleaning. So the major pre-cleaning equipments that are used nowadays are open double sieve pre-cleaner and single scalper drum cleaner. There are others also, but these are the major ones. And open double sieve, with the name you can say that it has two sieves, and it also contains an aspirator to remove lighter impurities. Another one is single scalper drum cleaner. And if we talk about the objective of pre-cleaning, we does pre-cleaning so that to attain high milling recoveries and protect machine from wear and tear. Obviously, we do not want our machine to get unnecessary wear and tear. So the impurities that come from fields along with the rice kernels or your grains may cause harm to the machinery. So before putting your grains into the machinery for milling, you need to clean the entire grains properly so that no harm is caused to the machinery, right? Now we will talk about the basic principles behind cleaning. So the basic principle behind pre-cleaning is the difference in the size, specific gravity, weight and length of your size of your grains and the impurities. So if we talk about light impurities, the basic principle behind the removal of light impurities is aspiration. Using air, we will remove the light impurities such as your husk, your straw, dust particles, right? Third one is impurities larger or smaller than paddy are removed using sieving. So okay, larger impurities will be removed by using sieves of the size through which only the grains can pass, and smaller impurities smaller than paddy will be removed by using sieves that are smaller than paddy, so that the smaller impurities get through and paddy remains on the sieve only. The next one is impurities with same size but heavier. So the example is your stones. The stone may be of same size as the grain, but it may be heavier. So they are removed using gravity separators. And the last one is iron or steel particles. So obviously they can be used using a magnetic separators, right? So the next we'll talk about husk removal. So for husk removal, we use steel huskers, under shellers, rubber roller, concave type, so and many others. Steel huskers, also known as one pass milling. Why? Because in this husker, what happens is husking and polishing, both the processes takes place in one machine only, right? And the principle behind husk removal are, you can go through these, I'll explain one by one. First one is compression and shear. So compression is like, as the name suggests, compressing something, pressing something against a wall or something like that. And shear is means rubbing your rice kernel between the two surfaces, right? So it compresses, split off the husk, कंप्रेस करेगा और हस्क जो है वो अलग हो जाएगा. एन एग्जाम्पल इज कनकेव टाइप हस्कर्स for compression type, and for rubber roller husker for shear huskers. So rubber roller husker means there are two rubbers through which the kernels passes and the husk is removed. The next one is abrasion and friction. Example is your Hollanders. So what happens in abrasion and friction? An abrasive surface an abrasive surface comes in contact with the rice kernels and removes the husk. And friction is when abrasive surface, I'll show you. Suppose if this is the surface where kernels are here, and abrasive surface will be like this, right? And friction is when this is the rice kernels you have, and here another surface is there, and it comes in direct contact with the rice kernels, right? Next one is your impact and friction, which uses the principle of centrifugal type shellers. So what happens is, in this centrifugal force is used. I'll show you. Suppose you are putting in the rice kernels here, and they come here, and here the centrifugal force is applied and they fall against the walls. So this is the impact, and the husk will be removed, right? So wherever impact word will be used, centrifugal type of centrifugal forces is the main principle behind that. So now we'll talk about the most efficient husker, that is your rubber roller husker. So here is the rough diagram. I've made it rough only. You need not to beautify it much. You only need to understand. So you can see, when we put rice kernels, sorry, what did I do? Rice kernel from here. So this is the knob from where you can adjust the flow of your rice. So these are the two rollers. These are made up of rubber and called rubber rollers. So the rice will come through this, get compressed. This is the husking section, right? And this is the aspiration section. So the rice gets dehusked from here, and what we receive here is a brown rice, and here it is the aspiration takes place. The blower is fixed, which removes the husk, and what we get is a brown rice, right? So this is the knob here, which what does it do? That it adjusts the space between the two rollers. So this roller is fixed roller, and this is movable. You can adjust the gap between the two rollers by with the help of this knob. So I'll explain what is the basic principle behind it. There are two rollers. Both the rollers are rotating in opposite directions, and there is a speed difference, which means that shear forces are acting on it. And because the two rollers are made up of rubber, so rubber will be soft, and there will be less breakage of the kernels, and yes, the rice kernels will be compressed, so compression will be there, and yes, certainly there will be little bit of friction also. So since there are less brokens and a large amount of head rice is produced, so this type of husker is considered to be most efficient in today's date. So next we will talk about the whitening and polishing. So usually many of you get confused or interchange the meaning between whitening and polishing, right? So what happens, whitening is done before polishing. Remember, whitening is done before polishing. What is whitening? Whitening is removal of bran. Bran is that part or that layer of a rice kernel which contains all the nutrients like your vitamins, minerals, thiamine, phosphorus, all of these, right? When we remove this bran, the process is known as whitening. The rice whitens. Now, why we need to do polishing? So what happens, we have removed the bran, but some of its particles are still on the surface of the rice. So bran particles still sticking to the surface are removed, and polished, the rice is polished to give shiner appearance. I've already told you that it appeals to the consumers, right? Now, what are the basic principles behind polishing? So what we does is, the rice kernels are subjected to abrasive surfaces. This is the rice kernel. So abrasive surfaces, and then they are subjected to friction. So friction में क्या होता है कि they are slided against like this. This is the rice kernel. This is also the rice kernel. So they are slided against each other. And what we need to remember is that abrasion is always done first and then friction is done. If only friction is preferred for polishing, a lot of energy will be required and the process will not be energy efficient, right? So these are the equipments listed below which are used for polishing of rice. Whitening of rice, vertical abrasive whitening cone, horizontal abrasive whitening, then third one is horizontal friction machine. So these are written in sequence only. So I've told you why abrasion is done first and why friction later on, so that less energy is used. And with this we end this chapter, the topic of rice milling. Thank you, and please like, share and subscribe my channel. Share it with your friends and other students, your juniors, your seniors, if you like my notes. Thank you.